There's a new medical treatment being tested for women who are believed to be pregnant with a fetus that could develop ambiguous genitalia. Okay, that's a mouthful. But there are some issues with this treatment because some gay rights leaders are saying that the treatment can turn a homosexual baby into a straight one.
That puts you in trouble. Okay, now, what's the right answer here? So we got controversy.
Right.
Obviously, there's an upside to this pill, right, that you don't have the ambiguity in a child. But gay groups, as you pointed out, are saying, hey, wait a minute, this looks like you could use this against gay kids, right?
Right.
And what they're worried about is that they're going to start using it on kids that don't have this condition.
Exactly. And
Right.
I think that's a legitimate concern. And I think that it's very possible for right-wing doctors to abuse this treatment. Okay? It's not something that I think is like unquestionable. It could happen in the future. But the thing is, like, a lot of gay rights activists are saying, like, no, stop all testing of this treatment, stop all uses of this treatment. We can't have it. It's going to be misused. I think that that's unfair.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. So here's how I break this thing down. I think we can use human judgment. I don't think we need to have a zero tolerance policy. I don't believe in such things. And if you use it on somebody that does not have this condition, first of all, it has adverse effects. I know what you're saying, Anna. People are going to use it anyway, and that drives me crazy, right? But it's extra hormones, right?
Right. It's extra hormones. It's actually a steroid. It's called dexamethasone.
Oh, nicely done. Okay. And so now, if you're going to have a daughter, it makes her extra feminine, okay? So, which is fascinating, right? But it could have adverse consequences that the scientists explain, et cetera, et cetera. But no. Just trying to make kids straight, no way. I'm not buying it. I'm totally against that, right? You got to let them be what they're going to be. But on the other hand, and you can call me a hypocrite for this. You can call me anything you like. But if I got a kid coming and the doctor tells me it's going to have confused genitalia, it's going to have a uterus and ovaries, but it might have a penis or somewhat of a penis.
Right.
Oh, no way. I mean, as a parent, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm definitely giving them the treatment. Okay? I mean, call me whatever you like, but that's where I draw the line.
Right. Well, see, that's the condition. How, again, this goes back to how do people think they can determine as a fetus, oh, yeah, your kid, when he or she turns 13, 14 years old, he's going to start being attracted to the same gender. I don't see how it can be used to turn a gay kid straight because nobody knows. The kid is a fetus, you know?
Okay, I'm going to try to explain that. This is a super difficult story to explain because there are so many different parts of it that there's so many different variables, right? But what happens is there are babies that are born with this condition that turn out to be completely fine. Okay, like doctors know what the genetic mutation is very early in the pregnancy. So what happens is they don't know whether or not this child is for sure going to develop ambiguous genitalia, but the parent has the option to use the treatment anyway. Okay?
Right.
Now, babies that are born with this mutation, just genetic mutation, most of them turn out to be homosexual. So that's why homosexual or gay rights groups are against it, because they think that this is going to be used as a way to turn gay babies straight.
Now, the extra twist there, and what you're going towards, JR, is apparently the treatment does have a lot to do with whether you're born gay or straight. And so and of course, the reason for that is because hormones in utero, it turns out, are enormously determinative of where you are in the spectrum of gay and straight, right? Now, knowing this arms us with knowledge that is dangerous, right? Because whether it's this treatment or not, people are going to start to mess with those hormones. Whether we like it or we don't, you know that's coming, right? So that sucks and that's dangerous, right? But it's also interesting because it goes to, is it nature or nurture, right? So I guess the right wing loses on that argument because it's obviously nature, right? So those hormones determine it, et cetera, and then you'll know if you're, that's partly what, Not only, but a large part of what determines whether you're gay or straight, not because you got the gay juice on you later, or so you ever lived in a gay culture and you became gay, or all the other insane theories that the right wing has.
Right. You know, and another part of this story has to do with advocates for informed choice. And they're a group that believe if you are pregnant with a baby that could have ambiguous genitalia, you should allow that baby to be born. And then when that child grows up and is, you know, an adult, he or she can decide whether or not they want to get some sort of reconstructive surgery, not reconstructive, but, you know, surgery to
Hell no.
fix their condition. And
No,
I think, look, they make a pretty good argument, but at the same time, why would you want to put a child through that?
Yeah, I mean, like, oh, here, why don't you get ambiguous genitalia until you're age 16 so I can give you choice? I mean, you want to talk about messing with a kid? Are you crazy? No, 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 no. I mean, no, you take care of this while you can, if you ask me. And I'm not saying I've got the right answer. I'm just telling you realistically what I'd do, okay?
Hey, how about let's have a little bit of a, let's just throw devil's advocate in there, right? Parents have choice to do a lot of things they want to do with their kids. In some cases, which we believe in, we're pro-choice, or whatever you want to do with your child, even as far as abortion, right? It's their kid. Why can't they do what they want with them?
No, you're saying, not in regards to ambiguous genitalia, that's of course. But in terms of if they want to turn their kids straight, why don't they have the choice to do that? Well, realistically, they probably will. I'm not saying I'm mandating it. I'm just hoping that God they don't, right? But, you know, do you want to pass a law against it? That's a great question, JR. I mean, ironically, the people that might, if they were principled, which they're not, the people that would be on your side are the right-wingers who would say, don't mess with what God created, right? And because that's why they don't want the cloning, they don't want any of that stuff, they don't want the scientific experimentation, because you should go with what God created.
Right.
But they will change that stance on a dime.
Right.
They will change it instantly